everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Cajun Conservative Show, where I talk about life, I talk about liberty, and I talk about your pursuit of happiness. And I show the world that us Cajuns do have intelligence. Hope you're having a good day, good week, wherever you're located. Just remember that this is the day that the Lord has made. You should rejoice and be glad in it. Glad to have you here on the Cajun Conservative Show. Ladies and gentlemen, we are a little under a year till the 2024 presidential election, where hopefully we will have backwards Joe back out of the parking lot of the White House and goes home. Now we know tradition. He got to fly in a helicopter and he got to fly away to an airport where he gets in a car and drives the rest of the way to Delaware. But that day, I hope, comes very soon. We cannot have another 4 years of Democrat-run policies. And ladies and gentlemen, I've been hearing a lot about the Donald Trump being a dictator for one day. And I had a conversation with somebody, and I said, they was like, hey, Donald Trump says he's going to be a dictator. And I had to bring out the context and everything like that. But ladies and gentlemen, he's going to sign an executive order. That is not a dictator. Every president has done it. Now, the way that executive order, well, I can't say that one president didn't sign no executive orders. I can't remember who he was at the moment, but there was one president that didn't do it. And, ladies and gentlemen, every president has done it. But with executive orders, I don't think they should be done. That's kind of like a dictatorship with every president, Republican and Democrat. But Donald Trump's going to use it to give us jobs and protect our country. Let him sign the executive orders. And look, saying you're going to be a dictator for a day, it don't look good. I'm going to be honest, it doesn't look good. But ladies and gentlemen, what you going to do about it? What you going to do about it? But on to the note of, hopefully in 2024, we have a new president that comes forth. And I hope it is a Republican president. Not because I'm a Republican. I just want to see our country go in the right way. And if they put up Gavin Newsom, or they put up Michelle Obama, or they put up somebody else, ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to be good. It's not. A Democrat has not helped this country whatsoever. So with that being said, I want to thank everyone that listens to the show. If this is your first time, welcome to the Cajun Conservative family. We would love to have you. And if you can, hit the subscribe button on the platform you're listening on. If you're on YouTube, hit the bell, and that will let you know when every new episode comes out. And you can be the first to listen to the new episode of the Cajun Conservative Show. Love having new followers, had a new subscriber on YouTube. And a lot of people are like, well, why one YouTube subscriber? Yes, but Rome was not built in a day. But when Rome was built, it took 400 years to collapse that empire. Just saying. So a slow rise means a long, long life. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, I want to thank my friends at Smith Truck and Equipment Sales for sponsoring this episode of the Cajun Conservative Show. Love to have people like Smith Truck and Equipment Sales. They're just not a company. They care about you, the individual that they sell to. So thanks to them, and also our affiliate marketers that have teamed up with us and reached out to us, wanting us to be part of their affiliate program family. So thanks to HairClub and Give-A-Derm for that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I was just talking about 2024, and we had a Republican presidential debate. Now, I went ahead and recorded because I was in the studio, and I started watching a little bit after. I was really tempted to go ahead and do a live stream. The reason being, it was on a Wednesday that we didn't have church. And I was thinking about, man, I'm just going to go ahead and do a live stream with it, and my reaction as I go along. But it was short. It was spur of the moment. And I had to record last Thursday's episode, so I just went ahead and recorded it and watched it. I wanted to see how Ron DeSantis did, because you remember Ron DeSantis came out of that debate with Gavin Newsom, which I think he crushed it. By the way, now there is some political pundits, and look, I like Graham Allen. Graham Allen is a great voice for the conservative movement. There's one or two things I will disagree with Graham, but at the same time, Graham Allen is a good conservative voice for us on the right. But I disagreed with him on that his recap of the Gavin Newsom, Ron DeSantis debate. He said he lost. And what got me upset about the whole thing, you have a right to your opinion, but when he went ahead and said, if you think Ron DeSantis won that debate, you don't know politics. Now, granted, everyone don't look at politics like yours truly and Graham Allen and Ben Shapiro and Dan Bongino, all these people. But, ladies and gentlemen, Ron DeSantis had it. Ron DeSantis was on the point. He flustered Gavin Newsom. Did Gavin Newsom get under Ron DeSantis' skin a few times? Yes. He caught him at least twice. And y'all, if y'all want to hear my recap, go listen to the episode, 2 episodes before this one. You will see I give a whole recap of what I saw. But there's some in the Republican Party. Now, like, this could be the bias, and it could be unbiased on my end, too. Remember, I'm an opinionist. I'm a Ron DeSantis supporter. I like Ron DeSantis. I think Ron DeSantis would be the next president if Donald Trump was not in office, was not running. But I think Ron DeSantis would be a good president, and I think if Donald Trump wins this round, I think we should push him in 2028. So it might be biased for me to say, hey, I think it's wrong, and he's coming against me. But Graham Allen's the same way. Graham Allen says, I am Trump 2024. Now, he called balls and strikes when Trump is not on the stage. And I'm not criticizing him in a way that you can't. No one can watch that debate and say Ron DeSantis didn't crush it. Ron DeSantis did very well. Oh, but on that note, I know I chased a rabbit, but on that note, I wanted to see how Ron DeSantis did because he came off that debate. He has momentum. There was less people. There was only 4 people on the stage. I don't know how Chris Christie got there. They said he barely crossed over the threshold. Ladies and gentlemen, nobody wants Chris Christie for president. We're going to talk about him in a little while. But I was totally surprised. I was surprised that Chris Christie got on the stage. I'm just being honest with you. And if you're a Chris Christie person, well, I'm not trying to offend you, but he should not be on the stage. The only reason he's up on that stage is to go against Donald Trump. And there's nobody that's going against Donald Trump. Not even the other 3 candidates that are running. But there was him, Vivek, there was Nikki Haley, and there was Ron DeSantis. And I wanted to see how Ron DeSantis did. Ron DeSantis had an extra week, a week to with Gavin Newsom. I wanted to see how he came out swinging. And boy, did they all come out swinging. The first 20-something minutes of the debate, you didn't have Chris Christie ask the question. It even led to a point where Chris Christie at the first break went up to Megyn Kelly. I heard this on the Megyn Kelly show where he went to ask Megyn Kelly, why you're not asking me more questions? Now, she told him, wait until the second segment, and they started talking about Trump. So that was Chris Christie's expertise, I guess you could say, his area of knowledge. So they had more questions toward Chris Christie in the second hour. And so, ladies and gentlemen, you had these 4 people on the debate, and look, what was it? To be honest with you, it was more of a slugfest than anything. Look, it didn't sway me in my vote whatsoever. But I don't think it swayed anybody else's vote either. This was just a fight, man. This was just a slugfest. There was nobody that got turned, and this is my recap of the 2024 presidential race as it's set right now. They all lost because Donald Trump wasn't on the stage. You can't have a debate without the front runner. I'm just being honest. Now there's 2 more debates scheduled later on. I don't know if they're with the R.N.C. or they allow them to. I don't know how all that working out. But ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump not appearing there, it just makes Donald Trump a lot stronger. Donald Trump can attack these people while them attacking him back. Before I continue on with the candidates, because that's what you hear to hear. That's what you hear to hear for. To hear me to give my opinion on that. How did Newsmax get this debate? Now look, Newsmax has only been there, I think, maybe 4 years. If I'm lucky, it's almost all CNN people. Yes, they teamed up with Megyn Kelly, and look, to be honest, the moderation was good. Megyn Kelly, they had a woman from Newsmax, and I think one from the Wall Street Journal or something. The questions were good. Megyn Kelly came with a conservative view. She asked them some easy questions to get them going. Then when the other moderators got in there, they did bring out to be honest with you, that's how a debate should be done. I firmly believe in that. You should have a conservative, you should have a far left person, and then somebody that is proven to be both ways and that's not scared to ask them questions. So the moderation was good. The only thing I didn't like is, look, I like a good fight on the debate stage where they go back and forth, but it kind of went over the bound. But anyway, back to Newsmax though. How did Newsmax get this being so young of a network and not Newsmax, News Nation? I said Newsmax. Oh Lord, forgive me. News Nation got this debate, and Newsmax can't get it. Newsmax has a way bigger audience than News Nation. They got way better commentators. They got way better. They got things better than News Nation. But News Nation went ahead and picked that up. That is something. And look, News Nation, it's just it's a replacement of CNN. Now, look, they're more moderate than CNN. I will give them that. Because let's say like this, you got Bill O'Reilly and you got Andrew Cuomo on the same Chris Cuomo. Correction, not Andrew. Andrew Cuomo's the governor. You have Chris Cuomo and Bill O'Reilly on the same network. So you have some moderate views or left and right views. But now let's talk about the candidates, ladies and gentlemen. Look, I'm going to start off with the least popular to get him out of the way is Chris Christie. First off, Chris Christie was his mean, nasty self. Now, I'm going to say that about almost all these candidates because there was a lot of mud flinged in this debate. It was one big night. It was one big fight night. That's all it was. It was one big fight night, and they were criticizing everybody. Now, did evidence come out of certain things? Absolutely. Or what truth was brought out? Absolutely. But we're going to continue. But Chris Christie didn't have a strong night at all. As I said, he didn't get his first question, I think, until 20 minutes of the debate. Everything was directed to Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, and Vivek. So you had that's how the first night it didn't go well for Chris Christie. The only Chris Christie moment that I can remember is when he defended Nikki Haley. Now, Nikki Haley got attacked by Vic, and it was not pretty, and he went ahead and defended Nikki Haley and attacked Vic for attacking her character, except on the policies. And that's when he got majority of the applause. Now, granted, majority of the room was Nikki Haley supporters, but that was the only spot you could really be brought to. And the only the negative part for Chris Christie, which was a good part for conservatism, Megyn Kelly asked him the question of why you're still in the race. You saying that you running for president was to stop Donald Trump. You're not stopping him. 25% of the people don't think you should be president. 81% of Republicans think that Donald Trump should be the president. So that was Chris Christie's night. He didn't have a good night. And ladies and gentlemen, it was just, it was hard for him to go ahead and gain steam. Like I said, you got three other people on the stage, and they have to give their opinion. But Chris Christie did not do well. Now, Chris Christie don't like Vivek. After the show, he said some things about Vivek. And ladies and gentlemen, it was not a good night. Let's talk about Vivek. Since bringing him up, ladies and gentlemen, I like some of the views Vivek brings out. I would not vote for Vivek. I see more of Vivek running for a vice president candidate. He says no, but he defends Trump. He brought out, and I'm going to say what the media says, conspiracy theories about January 6th. He brought out some wild stuff. He went ahead and he was talking about Nikki Haley. He wrote on the pad, Nikki Haley equals corruption. Attacked Nikki Haley on her character. But he got most of the sound bites that are playing on montages right now. Let's say this is the fourth debate that Vic has been part of, and they're talking more about him than any other candidate. Now, he's not, it's kind of like people, like a lot of people are like me right now. They like what he stands for, but they would not vote for him for president. They don't think he's at that level. Now, he got a bright future, ladies and gentlemen. He got a very bright future. But no, I saw him as arrogant and look, I understand it's the debate, okay? But you can debate somebody respectfully. I think every one of them candidates should know that. Even Donald Trump, that wasn't there. You can debate respectfully. Okay, you don't have to get into a shouting match. You can debate respectfully. I've seen creation versus evolution debates more calm than this presidential debate on Friday night. But I just saw him as he was being nasty. I'm gonna be honest. Now, what was he saying about a few things about Nikki and Ron DeSantis? Well, not Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis backed up what he did. Vivek just went after Nikki Haley. Him and Ron DeSantis looked like they teamed up to attack Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley's some polls she's leading at number 2 under Donald Trump. But it was just Vivek was just, in my opinion, he was nasty and rude. Okay, his points, yes, he had some good points in the debate. I think what hurt him was, and he was trying to bring out a point that Nikki didn't know the 3 provinces of Ukraine. I didn't know the 3 provinces of Ukraine. He says any 3-year-old will know that. No, not every 3-year-old will know about Ukraine. But he did attack Nikki Haley's intelligence, and like I said, props to Chris Christie. He stood for Nikki. But I thought he was arrogant. Yes, he had some good points, but I didn't like. Let's go to Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley, ladies and gentlemen, had a poor night. This is the worst debate she ever did. Now, granted, besides Chris Christie, she had Ron DeSantis and Vivek trying. I'm trying to make sure I say his name right. Vivek, I think that's how you say it. If I say Vic, that's going to be his nickname for me. But Ron DeSantis and Vic just went ahead and attacked Nikki Haley. They were all over her. There were some things that they said was true. One thing that she struggled on was the parents and the bathroom bills. She was trying to say Ron DeSantis didn't care about it, and Ron DeSantis just went ahead and, nope, I signed the bill. You didn't sign the bill, and she was like, that's a lie, but she did not sign the bill. This is proven that she is something that she didn't sign that bill. And ladies and gentlemen, Nikki Haley took heat for it. On the provinces with Vivek, Vivek went ahead and challenged her, and she said 2 out of the 3. She should have done that right when he challenged her and made him look like a fool. If he goes ahead and says that, and she goes, well, it's this, and this, bam, Vivek's over. He does not have a chance that night. It makes his credibility look bad. And ladies and gentlemen, Nikki Haley did not do that. Nikki Haley didn't want to respond to him on one because I don't want to give him my time. Overall, Nikki Haley she looked weak, in my opinion. Look, there was one point where Ron DeSantis and Vivek were debating each other, and she looked like she was about to break down and cry. Because they were bringing up her past, they were bringing up her record, they were attacking her on her job with Boeing, which that shouldn't be a problem. Look, she got out of office and she went get a job. Look, some politicians like President Barack Obama to go sits in her house all the time and writes books and makes podcasts. She went get a job. But it was like one point she was about to cry, and I was like, man, I felt bad for her. Like I said, Ron DeSantis and Vivek went ahead and attacked her on a lot of things, and it was just she looked weak, and a lot of her policies. And look, the last debate she did well. The 3rd debate, but the 4th debate, it was not good for Nikki Haley. The last but not least for this debate was Ron DeSantis. Ladies and gentlemen, by far the strongest performers on the debate stage was Ron DeSantis. He had his facts right. He defended his record. He had more screen time this time around, so he could give his personality. He could warm up to it. The last couple of debates, he looked stiff. He looked like he was nervous. The debate with Gavin Newsom maybe gave him some momentum into this debate. But ladies and gentlemen, he looked strong. He looked like a strong politician, and he looked like he would be a strong conservative in the race. Him going back and forth with Nikki Haley on something. Now, he did something that Vivek didn't do. He stayed on policy with Nikki Haley. Look, I signed this bathroom bill. You didn't want to do it, and it went. He didn't. I don't remember him attacking Nikki Haley on nothing personal. To be honest, I'm trying to think of a weak point for Ron DeSantis, but I don't remember any. And ladies and gentlemen, it was just Ron DeSantis did very well. He stood on the issues. He also attacked Chris Christie on a few things. And ladies and gentlemen, it was just Ron DeSantis showed that he was the strongest candidate on that stage that night. Now, I'm going to tell you who I think won the debate. But I'm not looking at the debate like a lot of people that watch politicians or skips the debate and watch the clips. I watched the whole debate. And as I said, Ron DeSantis did very well. He had a lot of policies. He won the debate based on policies and achievements. I think he did very well. If he did well the last 3 debates before this one, he could have gained steam. I don't think he would be beating Donald Trump, but he would have gained steam. Now everybody else, a lot of people that look at debates with sound clips, Vivek won it. Vivek, because look, you can't lie. The clips that are going around there's hardly none of Chris Christie. There's hardly none of Nikki Haley. And if they show Nikki Haley, is Vivek attacking her. He brought up the Nikki equals corruption. That caught him airtime on conservative media. Ron DeSantis will probably be number 2 on the clips. But ladies and gentlemen, Vivek won the debate on popularity and getting his views out there and getting plastered all over the media. As for policy-wise, Ron DeSantis did it. Ron DeSantis did very well, and he finally did something that showed his personality. It showed who he was, and it showed his accomplishments. I think that's what America saw the other night. Now, a lot of people were saying, well, it was on News Nation. Nobody's seen it. Well, a lot of people thought News Nation was the exclusive, but the CW ran that debate. And the CW is local media, or not local media, it's national media with local affiliates. And you can watch, it's not to sound old, but antenna. You can put an antenna and watch the CW. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm hoping people saw this. Now, this is the last debate for the year. Like I said, there's 2 planned in 2024. I don't think the R.N.C. is involved with this, so we're going to have to see what goes on with CNN, because they're going on CNN. I think CNN wants for sure. But yeah, I think Ron DeSantis won it. And we got 2-3 weeks before Iowa, which will be a big night. We're probably going to do something here for that. And, excuse me. But we're going to have to see. So people that's going to vote in Iowa or in their caucus, do your research. But, Chris Christie is not effective. Vivek was snobby. Nikki Haley showed weakness and that her record is false. She's not a true conservative in that area. I forgot to go into that, she's a true conservative, but she's more of a moderate conservative. And then Ron DeSantis looked very strong and looked like he's the true leader that he could be. So that is my recap of the fight night of the Republican 4th presidential Republican debate. And look, I heard a lot of people in their opinions, but ladies and gentlemen, even this on one final note, I know I'm a little long in this segment, but Donald Trump won the debate too. If you go on that note, Donald Trump wasn't there, and it's hard for them to attack somebody where they're afraid to attack because they don't want to lose votes. Donald Trump won this debate. Donald Trump, him not showing up is getting him more and more votes because people seeing them fighting. They're like, well, we're going to go to the man that decided, hey, I'm not going to fight with that. I'm going to focus on the country. And that's how Trump is spinning this. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a break. I'll be right back in a few moments, so please stay tuned. How you doing, everyone? Isaac Hayes here. I'm here to talk to you about Smith Truck and Equipment Sales. I've been part of the trucking industry for a few years now, and I know the importance of finding a company that won't just sell you a truck or a piece of equipment, but will take the time to know you and help you through the process and checking in on you after the sale. That's why we are proud to announce our partnership with Smith Truck and Equipment Sales. Smith Truck and Equipment Sales is a family-owned and operated pre-owned truck and trailer dealership in Lafayette, Louisiana, who have been serving Acadiana for over 40 years. They offer full service, parts and accessories, and financing. They also buy used trucks of all makes and models. You can visit Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 5 at their location at 3010 Northeast Evangeline Thruway, or visit their website, SmithTruckSales.com. You can also give them a call at 337-234-0557 and let their friendly and experienced staff take care of all your truck and trailer needs. Smith Truck and Equipment Sales. Tell them the Cajun Conservative sent you.
Cleansed and made us whole. Not one not one soul.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the second segment of the Cajun Conservative Show. Ladies and gentlemen, the House is moving forward with a impeachment inquiry resolution. Now, this is from Red State. This broke on Thursday that the House is going to formally hold a vote sometime coming up. I think it's this week. I think it was Thursday of this week coming up, if I'm not mistaken. And today's the 10th of December. When this video and audio releases on the podcast side, it will be December 11th. But ladies and gentlemen, about time. Okay, about time we make this official. Now, they are in a impeachment inquiry now. According to Jim Jordan, I believe, he said that they don't need a formal vote. They can throw an impeachment inquiry together, but they're going to go ahead and they have the votes. Apparently, they have the votes, and that's up to Speaker Johnson. And he brought, I believe he said, look, it's time to do it. So the resolution, you could read it all if you go to Red State and other sites. You could read the resolution of why they're impeaching Joe Biden. And this is on the claims that him and his son had foreign business deals. And it's not even that. Okay, look, because there's some like Chris Christie, the Republican presidential candidate, that goes on news networks, and this is from the Daily Caller, I got this from, saying there is no evidence. And he appeared on all places, MSNBC, and they asked him about the impeachment inquiry, and Chris Christie says, well, there's no evidence. He said, and basically he says impeaching Joe Biden now would be unfair. How? How would it be unfair? You look, okay, the Democrats cannot talk about fair, Chris Christie. They went ahead and tried to impeach a president 2 months, not even 2 months, a month, until he was going to get out of office. They did look. Their impeachment inquiry was like January 6th. He caused it. Throw the impeachment vote. That was their inquiry into January 6th. Look, and for Chris Christie to say there's no evidence, there was less evidence of the Russian collusion. There was less evidence of the Ukraine phone call. You know why? Because Donald Trump said, release the audio tape of me talking to Zelensky. And they did, and there was no quid pro quo. So for Chris Christie to come out and say there's no evidence, that's not fair. This is why this dude isn't winning for president right now. This is why 25% of Republicans only agree with his philosophy. Because in reality, Chris Christie is not a Republican. He is a Democrat where they are behind his name. But that was the only way he could win in New Jersey. I'm sorry. This idiot can go on a debate stage. I did this in New Jersey. I'm the only one that could do. You could not win for president the last time you ran. So Chris Christie saying it's unfair and that there's no evidence is a bunch of hogwash. Now, back to my original point, because it gets me upset when I hear Republicans try to defend Joe Biden and the Democrats. But going back to what I was saying, it's not really about the business deals that Joe Biden and Hunter Biden put together. It's basically, and look, they were in business together. Joe Biden could say he didn't, but the Republicans, they believe they found evidence that shows that Hunter Biden would go to a country. It was either sent by his daddy or not. We have to find that out in an impeachment inquiry. But they say Joe Biden would send Hunter Biden to these foreign business deals. He would get on the boards and stuff and say, listen, y'all want America to do something? I have my dad on speed dial. I can call him. Watch. And he would call his dad. Hey, Dad, how you doing? Oh, I'm with my business partners here. You want to talk about the weather? He was selling political influence. Now, if Joe Biden didn't know about it, well, he's in the clear. He didn't know about it. But it's been proven time and time again that he did know about it. It is even proven, and like I said, look, everybody's innocent until they're proven guilty in a court of law or have a trial. But it's alleged that Joe Biden received payments from his brother and his son from Ukraine and China. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to start an impeachment inquiry because this is the danger. That means that Joe Biden could be bought and paid for. And ladies and gentlemen, it is sad. It is sad that we have a president that could happen. And that's why the Republicans need to do this. Is there political bias behind it? Yes. I'm not going to deny that. The Republicans know it's not going to go through the Senate. They're going to do basically what the Democrats did and say, like, because, you know, every Democrat that talks about Donald Trump being president, he's a dictator, or he's a two-time impeached president. They like that line. He was never removed from office. It was the same thing with Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was impeached, but he never removed from office. And Joe Biden isn't going to be removed of office. Because you got to realize they need, I think, 17 votes. Over 50. They're not going to get that. Basically, this is a political move. All right, now, but they need, now I'm going to be honest with you. The Republican parties need to continue to investigate because there's a slim chance that he could be removed out of office. But I don't think so. And I even have a thought of that I'm going to come back to. But ladies and gentlemen, they need to keep doing this because, remember, I think it was 17% of Democrats said they would not have voted for Joe Biden if the Hunter laptop story was not covered by big tech. And what I mean covered by it, I mean like not shown throughout the world. I'm talking about, hey, hidden. If big tech would have not, or even some media companies wouldn't have stopped that story, 17% of Americans that are Democrats said they would not have voted for Joe Biden. That would have gave Donald Trump the win. Now, on another note, before I move on to my next story about Hunter Biden, I'm hoping the Republican Party isn't falling in the lines of the Democrats. Why do I say that? Because, ladies and gentlemen, I don't see Joe Biden making it to the nomination. I don't. Listen, God save the president, I guess you could say. God, I pray for the president that his health, improves. But, ladies and gentlemen, this man went out and told his supporters, hey, if Donald Trump wasn't running, I don't think I'll be running either. The man is old. The man needs rest. The man needs to step aside and let a new generation of leadership. Now, I'm talking about, look, if I was a Democrat, I'll be saying that I'm just being honest. An 80-year-old man should not be president, and that is including Donald Trump. Oh, what you're trying to say, Donald Trump ain't smart? No, I'm not saying that whatsoever. But an 80-year-old man should not be running the country. He should be enjoying his old age. That is for Donald Trump and Joe Biden. If it came down to Donald Trump and Biden, I vote for Donald Trump. But ladies and gentlemen, an 80-year-old man should not be running for president. Y'all know my views on this. But going back to that, I'm hoping the Republican Party isn't falling in line with the Democrats. The Democrats might use this, ladies and gentlemen. They might be high officials in the Democrat Party might be sitting around and saying, listen, we don't want Joe Biden for president. We gave him what we promised him, the presidency. The Republicans are putting an impeachment inquiry into him. Let's say there's no evidence. And when it comes down to the impeachment trial, we vote to remove him out of office, and Kamala Harris becomes president, and she could have 2 terms because she's in a presidential year, and she could run for president. You got to think about this, ladies and gentlemen. And look, I'm not being a conspiracy theorist. I'm being honest. I'm just asking questions. I'm hoping the Republican Party is not falling into the trap of the Democrats, or the Democrats are going to use the Republicans' plan to impeach Joe Biden and get what they want. Because I promise you, majority of Democrats do not want Joe Biden. They don't want Kamala Harris. Who they want? Well, the most popular view right now will be Gavin Newsom. And I'm just... That's a thought that went through my head the other day. I just hope that the Republican Party, yes, they're trying to do good, and they're trying to prove that that Joe Biden did some things wrong. But ladies, I just hope they're not falling into a Democrat snare. Okay, it's funny how all this evidence is coming out right before the election. And it's, ladies and gentlemen, I think the dog catcher could be Joe Biden, but we'll have to see what goes on. All right. So continuing on with this Hunter Biden family crime affair, and literally affair, Hunter Biden faces new indictments in California. Now, remember, Joe Biden was charged on a gun crime in D.C., falsifying evidence or falsifying information on a 4473, which is a document you write on to show the dealership of the gun manufacturers that you're capable of having a gun. Because unlike popular belief, if you are a felon or you have mental issues or stuff, if you don't fill that 4473 out right, you will not, I repeat, you will not get a firearm. And a lot of people might be asking me, well, Isaac, you act like you're an expert on it. No, but I used to be. I guess you could say expert because I used to sell firearms. I used to work for a retail chain in the South. I started out in their camping department. They moved me to the hunting and fishing department. And because nobody else wanted to do it, I jumped in. I wanted to sell firearms. Why? Because I'm a gun activist, I guess you could say. And I'm a gun fanatic. I like guns. I'm going to be honest with you. And look, I had to get certified for it. I had to have a lot of training. But you know one reason why I wanted to sell guns? Because if you were certified to sell guns, that means you could certify and check them in. So the truck would come in. It was so long ago, I can't remember, but the truck would come in once a week or twice a week, whatever. They would call us from the shipping receiving department and say, hey, we got firearms. Whoever was with me that was also gun certified and the manager, we would pick them up and we'll check them out. Oh, look at the new SMW, whatever, the Smith & Wesson, the Henry, which we have to open the chamber and make sure there was no bullets or nothing in them. So, ladies and gentlemen, I enjoyed that. And the process was handing out 4473s and making sure it was filled out correctly. And if it wasn't filled out correctly, I would have to tell the people that was trying to buy the gun, you can't have one. And ladies and gentlemen, and even that, then after that, you'd have to go through a background check. And it could have changed since I've done that many years ago when I was a retail associate at this retail chain. But I believe it's the same way because, I think I bought a firearm since then. I'm not 100% sure. I don't buy firearms too much. I have them, but I don't buy them too much. But anyway, but Joe Biden Hunter Biden was indicted on that, and he pleaded not guilty. Remember, this was part of the plea deal. They were trying to make this plea deal where he would have immunity on a lot of things coming down the road. And then the special counsel, David Weiss, said, look, I need to do something. He got special counsel. And I was mad because this was one of the things that Hunter Biden, it was forgotten. Oh, his taxes? What about his taxes? I remember I made a whole segment of an episode where I was talking about this. Why Joe Biden is not getting indicted on the taxes. David Weiss, I believe, came out and said, look, we're looking into that. Don't worry about it. And last Thursday, it happened. Hunter Biden was indicted in California on Thursday on litany of tax charges, according to the documents made. The indictment, Hunter Biden failed to pay nearly $200,000 of income tax in the year of 2019. Special counsel David Weiss has been using a federal grand jury in Los Angeles to gather evidence of possible criminal tax charges against Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden pleaded not guilty in October to a federal gun charge in U.S. District Court for the District of Delaware after being charged out of Weiss' years-long investigation. Fox News reached out to him. Of course, nobody answered. Now, what did he pay? He took tax. Apparently, they looked at it and he took tax money to hook up with hookers and have a sex club membership and a few other things. We're not going to go into detail of that. But yeah, Hunter Biden is now indicted for the second time. Now, ladies and gentlemen, and look, don't get me wrong. I don't listen. I don't watch the media every 24 hours. Like, what's CNN's going to do? What? Let me see. But I do see a lot of articles where, ladies and gentlemen, the media is not covering this. Why? Because, look, I do believe that big media and the whole of the Democrat Party, they do not want Joe Biden in there. But just in case that Joe Biden is the only person that we can get to run for this position, let's not throw too much mud at him. Now, this David Weiss, I think a lot of that is going to tie into the impeachment inquiry and stuff. There's going to be a lot of things they're looking into. But ladies, now look, I don't trust David Weiss either. This is a friend, I think, to Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and the Delaware District Attorney's Office and all that. Okay, I don't trust totally the special counsel into the Hunter Biden incident. I think they're doing this to say, listen, we're fair. See, we're going after Hunter on this gun charge and this taxes. Because look, both those charges, Hunter Biden is probably not going to spend no jail time. And if he does spend any jail time, it's probably going to be in a prison where you have other multimillionaires that did crooked things, and they're going to accept Biden with open arms because he probably done some business with them. Hunter Biden 9 out of 10 is going to still get a slap on the wrist. Okay, that's how I feel. But ladies and gentlemen, I just look, he's indicted. Great. Will he face any prison time? I don't know. And the media is not covering it, so people don't know. I promise you, if you are part, and look, this is why you, if you're a listener of this show, need to share these shows out, because CBS, NBC, and all, they're going to say that he's indicted, but they're not going to dwell on this. They're going to dwell on the Republicans' mishaps. They're going to dwell on Donald Trump going to jail. They're going to focus on Donald Trump's indictments. They're not going to talk about Hunter Biden. Because, ladies and gentlemen, look, I watch the media all the time. Not say watch the TV, but I look for news articles. I have CNN that reports their notifications on my phone. If they have a story, I read it, see if it's credible to be on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, there's hardly nothing about Hunter Biden. All I see is Donald Trump, Mike Johnson, how bad he is as a speaker, and then you have the Republican Party. There's no negativity. And this is why, as I said, you need to share the show out with your friends and family. If they're conservative, even if they're on the left, ask them to listen to the show so they can get some truth. Because they're not going to get it on the media. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the only ones following this story of Hunter Biden's criminal activities is Newsmax, Fox News, Daily Wire, Daily Caller, and Breitbart. That's the only, look, and that's all conservative-leaning papers and news organizations. You're not hardly hearing anything from CBS, MSNBC, CNN, News Nation. Now look, correction, I can't put News Nation in there because I don't watch News Nation. I don't have their app. I don't have their news articles. But ladies and gentlemen, it just, you're not gonna get the correct information. Or correction, you might get the information. They might throw Hunter Biden has been indicted today. But you're not going to have a continuation of talk. And if you do, you might have it for a news cycle of 2 days. But people are not going to. I promise you, if I go on the street and we have a campus right down the road from us at UL Lafayette, I bet if I go with a camera and I ask them students, how many times Hunter Biden has been indicted? I promise you, majority of them children, them kids on that campus are going to tell me none, or we don't know. But if I ask them how many times Trump has been indicted, 9 out of 10, they'll tell me 4. They're going to know all about Donald Trump, but they're not going to know about Hunter Biden. And that's why the big medias, the big media companies are not healthy for America, because they have an agenda. And the agenda is to hide all of the Biden crime signal, the crime business. Because they do, look, if they can get Joe Biden back in there for 4 years and him being a puppet for the puppet master, they'll do it because they get their way. And unfortunately, Republicans bend over to help them get their way. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll be right back in a few moments, so please stay tuned. How you doing, everyone? Isaac here, and I'm here to tell you about a great company called Give-A-Derm. There's a lot of skincare products out in the market today, but none like Give-A-Derm. Give-A-Derm is a great American Christian conservative company that prides itself in making skincare products that will help your skin to stay healthy. Not like other skincare products that have toxins and chemicals that can hurt your skin. Do you know what goes on your skin is in your bloodstream in 30 seconds? So you want to be careful what you put on your body. That's why Give-A-Derm products are made with all natural ingredients to keep your skin healthy. My family has used Give-A-Derm products and we love it because it works. If you would like to try Give-A-Derm and experience this great American-made product, go into the description of this episode. There you'll find a link to Give-A-Derm and see what they have to offer you. At checkout, use the promo code BGSmedia10 to get 10% off your product. Thanks, guys.
You're my peace of mind. When this old world seems to get me down.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the third and final segment of the Cajun Conservative Show for this episode of December 11th. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to touch on some social issues. I have some other stories politically, but I think these stories need to be talked about. I do, because it is disturbing in so many ways, and they do involve politics. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm just I'm flabbergasted at this country, and these stories range throughout the country. And we're going to talk about the first one. Parents speak out after daughter assigned to share bed with trans student on school trip, told to hide it. So, ladies and gentlemen, there was the parents of an 11-year-old girl who reportedly assigned to share a bed with a transgender student while on an overnight school trip are speaking out about the incident, say they were not informed of the decision. Sharon and Joe Wells spoke exclusively to the Ingram Angle on Thursday to discuss the actions that they are taking against Jefferson County Public School in Colorado, by the way, commonly referred to as Jeffco, is in Colorado, after chaperones on the June trip allegedly told their daughter to lie about the reason why she wanted to switch rooms. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to read the whole story. I'm just going to briefly tell you, for the sake of time, what happened was they were going on this field trip from Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. You know how some kids, some trips do. Our local church, the church I'm affiliated with, our school one time took a trip to Washington, D.C. And if you watch the videos, or if you see the pictures and the videos, you would see that they had a good time. They were there to see the nation's history and stuff. And I'm assuming that this is what this school in Colorado went do. They went to Philadelphia and Washington, D.C., probably to see the sights and to hear about our rich history in America and see the monuments to Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, and our founding fathers, George Washington. You know what I'm talking about. The Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, the White House. You get what I'm saying? These kids were there, and they signed a form, and the form said that kids, male and female, would just not be separated. They would be in totally different floors or possibly in a different hotel. It's smart. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a youth pastor, and we've taken a few overnight trips, and the boys and the girls are separated, and they're on totally different floors. It's just a smart move. You go ahead and you take away the temptation first off, and you stop scrutiny. Well, apparently they didn't stop the scrutiny here. Well, the 11-year-old girl was assigned to supposedly three other girls in a room. It was supposed to be 4 girls in a room. And hotels, you probably can relate to this, audience. If you go to a hotel room, there's usually 2 beds. And it's usually two queen-size beds, and you could share a bed with somebody in the room. And if you have 4 girls, so that means 2 of them will be in the bed, or, all 4 of them could sleep in a bed. Well, to get into, and the little girl, abbreviations is DW. She goes ahead and gets in the room and finds out that there's another girl there, or she thought it was a girl. In her that boy's initials, I'm going to be honest, it's a boy, it's not a girl. Okay, the boy's name was K-E-M. And he was a transgender. He felt like he was a girl to go on this trip, and he thought that he could stay with girls in a room. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've already touched on this. If you're a pervert, you know, just saying you're a girl, you can go ahead and get in. You can get into women's bathrooms. You can get into women's rooms. Go on a trip and say you're a woman and be with all kind of women and fulfill your lustful desires. This is what this is pointing to. And the little girl was uncomfortable. So she goes ahead and asks for another room. She called her father first, and that was the greatest thing ever because the father can go ahead and, all right, we're going to get this fixed. Asked to move to another room. The chaperone said, no, please don't. Just sleep in another bed with the other girls and let her, and they was talking about the transgender student, be in one bed. And they tried it one night, and it didn't work out. And after that, they were told, well, look, just don't tell them you didn't want to stay in the room with a transgender student. Ladies and gentlemen, schools and people that work at schools are supposed to protect your children. First off, I don't care if this boy felt like he was a giraffe. He shouldn't have been in that room. Okay, and I'm gonna use that. Look. You saying you're a girl is kind of like saying you're a giraffe and you belong in a zoo. That does not work. Okay, so for the chaperones to go, they knew this was going to be controversial. Look, it's a double blade sword because they don't let the transgender child go into this room that he's a male and he's going to be with females. You have the ACLU, and you have all kind of LGBTQ activists come against you because you did not fulfill the right of this boy or this girl. Okay, remember he's a boy, but he says he's a girl. This girl to express herself. Then you have what happened here. You tell him to go into a girl's room, and you have girls that are uncomfortable. But don't tell nobody. Just go into another room. Don't tell nobody. Now they're under scrutiny. And ladies and gentlemen, the parents are doing right. They should push this issue. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're look, there's only two genders in this world, and God made it perfectly clear to tell what gender is what. And ladies and gentlemen, this is an issue in America. And this, look, going on to my next story of a boy saying he's a girl taking advantage of a girl's sport or something that should be entitled to girl. Like, look, back go to the first, a girl should feel protected. Okay, because I'm gonna ask the question too. Where are all the women's rights issues? Benjamin Netanyahu said it the other day. I don't have the report now, but he said, all y'all women's right activists, where are y'all at? The Muslim community don't care nothing about women. They despise women. And you have to, and I'm going to ask the same question. Where are the women's rights organization on this? You had 3 little girls basically forced to stay in a room with a biological boy. They don't feel comfortable. But for the sake of equality, don't say nothing, please. And it backfired. Now, going back to another story of, and like I said, this is social issues. Parents foam after trans-identifying boy wins regional Irish dancing competition, heads to the World Championship, reports. This is from the Daily Wire. Apparently, a teenage boy who identified as a transgender, he took first place in a dancing competition, where the front runner for the whole year apparently lost out to go to the World Championship, made the girl cry, and made parents upset. Why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, boys are built to last a little longer in competitions. Okay, look, women's sports, they can go ahead. But there's a reason why a softball mound is only, I think, 70 feet and a pitcher's mound is 90 feet. There's a reason why baseball bases, I'm using baseball as an analogy, and softball are, I think, 90 feet and softball 60 feet. It's something around, don't quote me on the measurements. Fact checkers, please beware. I'm not 100% informed. I'm just saying baseball bases and the mound are further. Why do you think a baseball field can go over 500 feet, and the softball fields are maybe 250. Ladies and gentlemen, look, and I never hit a home run playing softball, but there were some women. Look, I've seen some women can crush a ball. I only heard one that could probably hit it 500 feet. One out of 20 some guys that I know that could hit it God knows how far. Ladies and gentlemen, and look, and the same thing. Girls that are competing in this dance, I know it's steps and everything like that, but ladies and gentlemen, another story of a boy or a male figure beating out a girl in a competition because of strength and stamina. And look, I'm still asking the question, where are the women activists? Where are the women activists that preach that women should have equal rights? But I just told you 2 stories of a little girl that was afraid to be in a room with a transgender girl that was a biological boy. She felt uncomfortable. She did not like being there, but was told to lie about why she wanted another room. And then this competition of a dance competition where a transgender male beat out all these girls. That is not women equality. Where are you at, you women rights people? Where are you at? Oh, Isaac, you got to remember that biological boy was identifying as a girl, which makes him a woman. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm starting to agree with Daily Wire on this. And look, they made a movie. I never watched it yet, but Lady Ballers is all about this. You know, hey, if you're watching Daily Wire, I'm giving you all free publicity. Lady Ballers is all about this. About men that are washed up and can't compete against men, so they go ahead and say they're women to compete against women and win. Yes, it's a comedy. I know, but ladies and gentlemen, that's how it looks today. Ladies and gentlemen, where are you at, women's rights people? Where are you at? Where are you at? I'm asking that question. If you're watching this, if this clip ends up on TikTok or YouTube Shorts or Facebook Reels, whatever, because this is going to be on YouTube and all kind of other sites, go ahead and comment and tell where y'all at. This is disgraceful. This is going against every woman's rights beliefs. Where you at? But now, ladies, I think they're fighting it and stuff. But how ridiculous is this? Biological males that are saying they're females. And look, I'm going to tell you. Look, before I move on to the next subject, ladies and gentlemen, if a boy's lustful and want to see women, all he has to do is say, "I'm a woman," and put on a dress. And if a boy can't achieve in sports, or he feels weak in that he can't beat anybody, all he has to do is say he put on a dress and he's going to become number one. And look, I can't remember the guy's name, but the guy that swam for Penn State. If you look at his records, he sucked. He stunk. He could not go ahead and he couldn't go ahead and win against a boy or another male. All of a sudden, hey, I'm a female, got championships, broke records in the woman's records for Penn. Ladies and gentlemen, the only reason he did that, and that's my opinion, it's not fact, it's my opinion. The only reason I think he did that was because he could not beat men, so he wanted to have a name for himself, and he saw an opportunity. The world's saying you could be a woman just thinking about it. And it's wrong. It's unfair to women. Really. It's unfair. All right, let's move on. Ladies and gentlemen, California. I have a lot to say about this one. California has a new law passing. And ladies and gentlemen, it's not disturbing, but at the same time it is. Because going on the grounds of gender identity, and you have all these people, you got for these people that feel that they're another gender. Okay, if God made you a male and you think you're a female, we can't offend you. We can offend the people that say, hey, look, we believe that there's only two genders. You can offend the media and the world, they can offend those people. But they have to make sure they do not offend the people that are claiming they're gender neutral or they're multi-genders. You know, they're 355 genders, whatever one they want to choose. They pick the gender like picking clothes out of a closet. Back in the day, they would have called that mental health. But, you know, we can't offend those people. And California is doing that, ladies and gentlemen. Look, I'm so glad I do not live in California. For the conservatives that are staying there and fighting for your state, I admire you. I will not leave my purple state at the moment, which is soon to be a red state, thanks to Jeff Landry and winning, and the Republicans winning big in Louisiana. That was really a red wave in Louisiana. I would not leave my comfortable state. Yes, they have issues, but to go to California, I wouldn't. Now, if the opportunity would arise or something, you know, Florida or Texas or something like, hey, I would think about it. But like I said, Jeff Landry is the governor now, and I don't think my friends that are in the state house wants me to leave. Anyway, going back to that though, but I would not go to California. And this is one of the reasons we're here, because California retailers that refuse gender-neutral toy sections will be fined up to $500 under new law. Many retailers in California are just weeks away from having to create gender-neutral toy sections for children or risk being fined hundreds of dollars under the controversial state law to take effect in the new year. Under the term of legislation, Governor Gavin Newsom signed into law in 2021, California-based companies, stores with 500 or more employees that sell child care items or toys, regardless of whether they have been traditionally marketed for either girls or boys. I missed the line. Okay. More employees that sell children toys must have a gender-neutral section, regardless of whether they have been traditionally marketed for either girls or boys. So, ladies and gentlemen, even if it's a store that is based for little girls, you still have to have a gender-neutral section. Now, this is going to cause a lot of problems in California. One, for the business owners, because unless you're like a big retail chain like Target, who Target has already they have somewhat of a gender-neutral section. If you're a mom and pop store, this is going to crush you because you're going to have to redo your whole floor. And if you have the store designated for certain things, you're going to have to shift things around. It's going to cost a lot of man hours. And ladies and gentlemen, first off, I think this is going against the First Amendment because, in my opinion, I could be wrong, because they're stopping their freedom of speech. Now, this is why this law was brought into place, because I heard about it on a radio program. I can't remember which one. And they were talking about this. And the whole reason why the legislator put this bill out there and Gavin Newsom signed overwhelmingly is because they want the children to feel safe. They want the children that feel like they're 355 genders, whatever one they want to choose that day, to have a safe space, to express themselves without worrying about. It's like a little boy going to a girl's section. They don't want them to feel ashamed. Now, Target and other places in California have been doing this already. I haven't noticed here in Louisiana. It's rare I go into Target. I go into Target. My wife likes Starbucks, and I know all you conservatives like, yo, buy Starbucks. Oh, there's not a J Coffee, and there's not a CC's anywhere around, unfortunately. I drink more coffee. My wife drinks. She makes her own coffee too, but most of the time I don't. I went into Starbucks the other day, and I spent $15 on 2 coffees. I'm like, that's kind of high. But anyway, but ladies and gentlemen, is in the local Target. That's the closest Starbucks. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't go into Target too much. I don't try to support companies like that, like Starbucks. If there's another coffee company around, we go there instead of. We're basically if we want coffee like that, we have to go. But ladies and gentlemen, California, like Target and Walmart stuff, I think they were already doing this. They was already making gender neutral things, but it's all about the safe spaces, okay? And this is why I wanted to bring this up. Ladies and gentlemen, I just talked about 2 incidents with a girl where these girls that had these transgenders, they had their safe space, okay? The school in Colorado made sure that transgender boy or transgender girl who is a boy, you have a safe space. Nobody's gonna bother you in this room. The boy that turned into a girl to win the dance competition, probably apparently because he couldn't win no other way. They're making him safe. Okay, you won, yay! They have a safe space. But what about Christians? What about the girls that have to go through, where their safe space. And look, the reason I'm saying this is too because I have a lot of friends that go on college campuses and preach. Charlie Kirk, look, do I agree everything with Charlie Kirk from Turning Point USA? No, you're not always going to agree with everybody, okay? But Charlie Kirk goes on campus, sets up a tent, sets up a table, and just talks. And you have people that bash him. I saw one video of a man, look, remember all the left's about love and equality and discussion and debate. One left-leaning nut, Cracker Barrel, went ahead and went to Charlie Kirk and said, I hate you. You destroy America. I hate you. And did not want to debate Charlie Kirk. Where are the safe spaces for conservatives and Christians and children that have to fight with transgenderism? Because look, this whole bill was not based on logic or the betterment of California. The left in California might say, "Oh, yes, it was. It shows we're sponsoring equality and we are affirming gender ideology." And they think it benefits California, but this is not benefiting California. It does not benefit California economically. It does not benefit California whatsoever. But the left wants to create safe spaces for all the transgender, the LGBTQ, the liberal. They want to create safe spaces. There's no safe spaces for conservatives and Christians. Because you don't hear of a law. Now you do hear, don't you hear people fighting to save our rights. Okay, that's big different than trying to create a safe space. But, look, we had a coach a while back, a Christian football coach that prayed. And look, he won in the Supreme Court. Thank goodness that happened. He got his job back. But you had a high school coach that prayed with students, did not force children to pray. And the first thing out of the ACLU's mouth and the Freedom of Religions PAC or society, whatever, he's forcing. Where's the safe spaces for that? You have safe spaces in colleges and in high schools for leftists, and you don't have no safe spaces for conservatives. Now, if this was a bill that would say, listen, the church has a right to do this, this, and this, liberals would have shot it down. Let's even go to a point with this, okay? Let's make a bill in California. If you're a lawmaker in California listening to this, introduce a bill that says in retail stores, because you have a gender neutral section, let's go ahead and make a Christian section. And I'm not talking about a shelf with maybe one or two CDs or a little bookshelf with Bibles on it. Let's make a whole section based on Christianity to give the Christians a safe space. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it's hard to go into a Target and Walmart and find Christian literature. It's hard to find. Now, look, I got Spotify and all that, so it don't bother me because I can listen to Christian music all the time. But I can't go into Walmart or I can't go into Target or these big retailers and find a Christian section. It's not existent. Now, when I was growing up, they used to have tons of even in like the stores in the mall. FYI. I remember going in the mall, they had a big Christian section. I went in there a while back, can't find hardly no Christian music, can't find no Christian movies. You can't find it no more unless you go to a Christian bookstore. Let's do that. If you're a lawmaker in California, bring that bill out and use this bill. Look, we made a safe space for the gender neutral children. 9 out of 10. That bill gets shut down. And this would be the first words out of the leftist mouth. We cannot, and I repeat, we cannot accommodate one specific religion. But they can go ahead and accommodate one ideology. And that's what transgenderism is. It's an ideology. It's an idea. And ladies and gentlemen, that shows the hypocrisy. Unfortunately, there is no safe spaces for Christians and conservatives. And this is why we need to fight for our rights that we have now. And this is why I commend organizations that fund lawyers and that help out in those areas, because unfortunately we have to fight for our rights. Because if we don't, the left will slowly take them away. And like on my last episode, when I asked the question, will Donald Trump be a dictator? Ladies and gentlemen, the Republican Party is trying to save your rights. Are they doing it correctly sometimes? No, they do have issues. But at the same time, they're fighting to keep your rights, while the Democrats are trying to take away your rights. And ladies and gentlemen, this article right here is going to hurt the economy, and it's also taking away the rights of a store owner. And I think a store owner in California should sue Gavin Newsom and sue the state of California. And it's going to be a 3-year, 4-year road. They need to fight this until the Supreme Court. And we need the Supreme Court to say, listen, you cannot take the rights of a person to do what the state's telling you to do. We will see some lawsuits. I promise you, we'll see some lawsuits when this law go into effect. Because there's going to be some Christian store owners, the mom and pop stores, that are going to be forced to change their toy section to gender neutral. And they're going to say, we don't believe in that. We say it should be a boy and a girl. And that's you, the listener. You need to go ahead and pray for those store owners, because there is a tough battle in California. Liberalism is running rampant in California. Now, on a quick note, before I know I'm over this segment, this is the thing about California too. Because just think about it. There's tons of problems in California. Literally, San Francisco is going down the toilet because there's feces all over the place. There's poop all over the place. The economy is bad. They're facing a deficit for the first time in years. There's a ex-migration problem where people are leaving California. I don't care what Gavin Newsom says that, oh, yeah, no, there's more people coming. No, there's not more people coming. The only ones that are going to California are viral, liberal TikTok makers. Okay? But there's more people. There's more problems in California. But instead of fixing those problems to make California better, they're going to worry about this. And look, like I said, I commend you conservatives that are trying to stay out there and survive. But you might need to start thinking about getting out, because California is bad. And I'm not trying to pick on the state. I've never been to California, but I have friends that went, and they tell me it's beautiful. And it's sad that a beautiful state is going down the toilet. Well, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and end this episode of the Cajun Conservative Show tonight. Remember, again, please hit the subscribe button or the follow button. Leave me a comment in the comment section of this video. Love to get your opinion, ladies and gentlemen. And remember that Jesus Christ is King. He's coming back one day. And ladies and gentlemen, the signs are pointing that is soon. And one day, I believe that the Lord is going to come and call his children home. And then we're going to enter into a time called the Great Tribulation Period. It's going to be 7 years of hell on this earth. Guess what? If you're a child of the King, you're going to escape the wrath of the Lord. And that is by putting your faith in Jesus Christ. And this show would not be nothing without him. I tell you this all the time. The Lord called me to tell the truth and expose the lies. The left and the world is going to tell you there is no God. And when you die, you're just going to become worm food. But life is more important than that. Jesus Christ is King. And if you surrender, and look, it's not going to be all, I'm not a prosperity preacher. It's not going to be all roses and valleys with lilies. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a tough road sometimes to serve Christ. But it's going to be worth it at the end. And if you want to know Jesus, your Lord and Savior, you can always reach out to me at thecajunconservative5@gmail.com. I will let you know how to make Jesus your Savior and heaven your home. All you supporters of the Cajun Conservative Show, again, thank you. Share this with a friend. Share this with your neighbors. Let's grow this show more. It is one of the top conservative podcasts in the nation. And I want to thank you for for you spending some time with me. I appreciate it. With that being said, until next time, be blessed, be encouraged. Remember, always listen Monday and Thursdays. We will see you next time on the Cajun Conservative Show.
Jesus Christ has risen. and He is the open door.